Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky lawmakers continue to discuss issues with unemployment system here in the Commonwealth, and a new program works to give some hands-on experience to future business leaders in our region.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, good morning to you. It's just before 6 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. Sometimes we just like to hear the theme music play just a little bit longer. I'm Dakota Makers. Good morning to you. Let's head over to Brandon Robinson for a look at that forecast. Brandon, good morning to you. It's a cold morning. It's been cold. Started my car this morning. So, you know, that's just what I'm going to say for the rest of the winter. So,
listen, some days you may be talking about how cold you were because, you know, it's going to be those times where it's really super cold. You think cold now? Got to get down in those teens and single digits.
No, y'all have me outside doing live shots for the morning news.
Exactly. But this morning, compared to all that, not too bad, even though we are in meteorological winter now as we start December 1st day here. Let's take a look across the region UVA-wise. Not too much going on. Some rain chances possible a little bit later today. And temperatures all over the place this morning. 27 in Jonesville, up to 30 now in Ashland, 35 in London, 34 here in Hazard, 38 Pikeville, Prestonsburg, and 43 the hot spot there in Jackson this morning. Average high this time of the year 52, forecast time 57, record high 71 back on this day in 2006. Dakota.
Brandon, thank you. Well, the Kentucky River Area Development District announced the death of longtime board member Jack Burkage. Now, he died on Saturday at the age of 95. He lived in Letcher County and served on several committees. He was a World War II veteran, an educator, holding positions as a principal and superintendent. He was also an active volunteer in several civic organizations. His funeral will be this Saturday at 1 at Graham Memorial Presbyterian Church in Whitesburg. A federal Kentucky judge has blocked President Joe Biden's vaccine mandate for government contractors. The Lexington Herald-Leader reports U.S. District Judge Gregory F. Van Tatenhove issued the order Tuesday afternoon. This was in response to Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who joined other state attorneys generals in opposing the mandate. The judge said, quote, "This is not a case about whether vaccines are effective. They are. Nor is this a case about whether the government at some level and in some circumstances can require citizens to obtain vaccines. It can." He said that question before him was a narrow one, whether or not President Biden had the authority to impose vaccines on the employees of federal contractors and subcontractors. The judge said, quote, "In all likelihood, the answer to that question is no." The vaccine mandate has been blocked in some of our neighboring states as well. Now, on Tuesday, that same judge also blocked the vaccine requirement for federal contractors in Ohio and Tennessee. This is the third time in the past few weeks that the president's call for mandatory vaccines were halted. This comes one day after a Missouri judge stopped the vaccine mandate for some healthcare workers in 10 states. Worker shortages continue to impact a large number of businesses and organizations, and veteran centers are no different. We talked with one Eastern Kentucky veteran about what he thinks could help fix the problem. Veteran Haven King says the Paul E. Patton Eastern Kentucky Veteran Center needs more workers.
My concern is I want to see this place be able to get veterans in here.
Adding that the staffing shortages have been going on for some time, but that the care provided is top-notch regardless.
Most of these guys are on long-term care, okay? And they've done a great job here. I've been to all of them, and I'll have to say that I think Eastern Kentucky is one of the best there is.
Saying pay is low, with some making $8.26 an hour.
Well, out of the 4 that we have in Kentucky, we are the lowest paid. East Kentucky, Paul Patton is the lowest paid in the state, and that's just not right.
He says taking care of our veterans will require more money.
It's going to take efforts of the executive, of the legislative branch of state government. The governor must see that there's a need and be able to bring this forth whenever we have a session in January.
He fears if more funding is not sent, the center could close its doors.
We can change this, but you have to work at it. You have to talk to your people. You have to talk to your congregations. You have to get them to get out there and talk to their leaders, talk to their representatives.
Using his voice to speak for our nation's veterans. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News. Well, now we talked with Mark Bowen, the executive director of the Office of Kentucky Veterans Centers. He tells us there are no plans or discussions to close the Hazard facility. Kentucky lawmakers held a task force meeting involving the state's unemployment system. Now, their final meeting ahead of next year's General Assembly session was yesterday. They looked into issues troubling the state's unemployment for almost 2 years now. Despite months of testimony about an outdated computer system, some lawmakers say the meetings just haven't been enough.
We did not hear from any unemployed workers who have tried to navigate this system on their own.
Lawmakers say these discussions about unemployment could make their way into legislation for next year's session. 2 Moorhead business owners have found a solution to their employee shortages, all while offering inmates a second chance at life. Grayson Passmore shows us how a new work program could be the solution to staffing issues across the state.
There's people with hiring signs probably in every business in town.
Moorhead businesses up and down Main Street face the same labor shortages plaguing the rest of the country.
The employee situation, it's always a struggle, no matter pandemic or no pandemic, but you know, the pandemic doubled that.
Owners of Holbrook's Embroidery Plus, Cameron and Carrie Flanders, weren't sure how they were going to make it through the holiday season without even one full-time employee.
So Wes called me one day and said, I'm starting this program that some of my inmates I'm gonna let some of them come out to work. And I said, heck yeah, man, send me a couple of them, 2 of the best you got. We'll see what happens.
Broward County jailer Wes Coldiron got the rights from the state to start a work program with his inmates.
The goal is when they get out, is they have a little bit of money saved up, they can go buy them a car, buy them a place to live, and they've also got a job.
And now they've got a second chance at life.
I think coming in, I was scared though, you know.
2 inmates, Brandy Moore and Deidre Stearns, started working at Holbrook's back in August.
Well, you got to talk to people and be around people, you know, from jail. You're not used to that, so it's just takes getting used to again.
In a few short weeks, the 2 have learned everything from embroidery.
Eventually, we're hoping to get them answering the phones.
To even taking care of customers.
That people have just made mistakes, but we can grow from it and change from it.
Yeah.
More than making money or the embroidered uniforms, the 2 are crafting new lives for themselves.
It's an accomplishment when you get like a big order done. It's like, yes,
definitely.
I did that. I did that.
In Moorhead, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Coldiron says he's already been contacted by other business owners who want to get involved in the program. Stearns and Moore have also been offered full-time jobs at Holbrook's once they're released, something they say they are very much looking forward to. The future of business in the region is in the hands of the future generations. So a new program is working to give them some hands-on experience now. Starter Labs is a high school competition that takes notes from the Invest 606 pitch competition. The organization is working with Do Good Brands to invite high school students from the 606 to pitch businesses of their own for a chance to win one of 3 grand prizes up to $1,000.
Exposing kids to new opportunities, to new experiences that they might not have, and exposing them to different very specific types of entrepreneurial skills that it's going to take to help you become a business owner or just become a better employee.
The competition deadline is December 10th, and you can find a link to apply over on our website. Winners will be selected December 14th. Since 2004, the General Assembly and Save the Children have partnered to improve early childhood learning in Kentucky schools. In 2018, the funding came to Leslie County Schools to launch this summer programs, after-school sessions, and non-academic support at home. Since then, the program has seen 94% of participating students in kindergarten through 6th grade meet or exceed standards in reading comprehension.
Kids that maybe they were above novice but not reading on their grade level, and these programs are helping them get the attention that they need, the focus that they need, and the resources our teachers and staff need to get these kids where they need to be.
Now, to make the programs work without overworking the schools, Save the Children creates the lesson plans and train the staff to implement them.
Coming up on 6:09, and we're taking a look at some cooler temperatures this morning. We're seeing 20s, 30s, and 40s out there. 120 left over, 27 in Jonesville. I believe it's on the Mesonet, still in the 20s there in Letcher County as well this morning. Sure, some other spots in those sheltered valleys in the 20s down to the south, but 43 our warm spot in Jackson. Across the state, 46 in Paducah, 43 Owensboro, 42 Bowling Green, but 30 back up towards Cincinnati and Ashland, and 29 in the Tri-Cities there regionally. We're continuing to watch some of those areas that the clouds are still moving into, but they're moving in, and rain chances won't be too far behind. Widely scattered, 57 our forecast high today. And our headlines, it is a weak disturbance that is going to bring that to us today. A warm start to December. Next couple of days well above average, but temperatures will crash next week. Dakota?
All right, thank you, Brandon. The time is 6:09. More news is on the way. When we return, there's some good and bad news in the fight against HIV. More on that next.